Welcome to Disney's Pop Century Resort, one of the best, in my opinion, value resorts here at Walt Disney World. Now, the value resorts are made for, as you would expect, a good value. The prices of them has gone up, as has everything else in recent days. However, if you are looking for a more economical way to stay at Walt Disney World with your family, assuming maybe a party of perhaps 4 people, this is a pretty good spot here at Pop Century. Now, Pop Century celebrates the decades, 1950s all the way through the 1990s, where you'll see things from Play-Doh to Rubik's Cubes, rollerblades, and so much more. They have yo-yos. It's so cool. Now, as you first walk into the resort, maybe you're taking a bus or a shuttle, some other way of getting here, you walk through these doors. You'll notice on the right, they have the luggage assistants. They're super helpful there. I do want to note, and I will note it again closer to the end of the video, the line for luggage assistance at Pop Century in the early mornings can be quite long. Get there early. I will mention that again in a moment. Walking through these doors here, you'll notice this resort here at Pop Century is unlike a lot of other resorts at Walt Disney World. You've got the kind of reception area. To the left, it's a super long area there, a lot of availability, but you'll notice there's still a line to speak to reception. On the walls over here, I wanted to closely point out, and this is pretty cool, they have the different centuries in these frames. If you have the opportunity when you're staying here at Pop Century, or even if you're just visiting, take a look at what's on the wall over there. You may recognize something from your childhood. It's pretty cool. I went back, saw things from the 90s. It was a ton of fun to go and kind of search for things that you know from being a kid. As you walk down the end of the hallway here, again, a super long kind of check-in area, which is appreciated. You'll notice there's a caricature artist on the right-hand side and lots of areas for seating. Straight ahead is everything pop and dining. We're going to go there in a moment. I'm going to start off going left. This is the DVC desk immediately to our left right there. And then we've got the business center, which a lot of the resorts do have, which is pretty cool, which offers you free internet access, ATM, a spot to change out that mobile charger if you're using the portable chargers, and a printer if you have to get a boarding pass or something like that. It is nice to have it there, and it's a convenient spot. You got to print something or maybe check in at the last moment. Here's a transportation. Actually, now that I think about it, why do we have that when we have the cell phones? I guess it's just for the printer. Anyway, maybe they won't be around for much longer. Needless to say, it is here. As you go back out, I wanted to step out this door for just a moment and show you the bus loading area. This is where you'll catch a bus to the Magic Kingdom or perhaps Animal Kingdom, a water park, something along those lines. If you're headed to Hollywood or Epcot, you're likely going to be taking the Skyliner, which is a pretty cool form of transportation here at Walt Disney World. So I wanted to kind of show you very closely over there so you know exactly how to get there if you're coming from Everything Pop and Dining. Walking past Everything Pop and Dining again right there, you'll notice that there's a fast forward arcade straight ahead of us, and this is a really cool one. I really do like this arcade. It's larger than many other arcades around Walt Disney World. I want to also note, exit over there. I'm going to show you that door in a moment, and a restroom if you're needing to use it. This arcade, they of course brought several of those games that many of us know and love from Disney Quest in the past. You see Pinball, Guitar Hero. I'm seeing Pac-Man's back there. You got Tank, I'm pretty sure, in this one. Lots of racing games, ATV games, motorbike games, and a lot more. Skee ball as well. Really cool spot with a lot of fun games for the whole family to enjoy. It always impresses me how crowded the arcades are whenever we're here at Pop Century. It seems like a lot of people really do enjoy it, and I got to tell you, I'm glad to see it. I do have that arcade card at Disney. You can pick up one of those from the arcade. You can just exchange money for the arcade card, and then you can use the points to play the games. But it's great to see that it's still being used after this amount of time. Games still an enjoyable experience, even though it's not on your phone. Now let's head into Everything Pop and Dining. We're going to start this area here with the shopping district, and what I want to focus on, especially at these resort tours, is what's unique for the resort, right? So only Pop Century, or let's just say mostly, you're going to find these things only at Pop Century. Sometimes you're going to find unique items at other resorts, that's true, but usually you can find the unique items that's meant just for the resort you're at one of these main desks. And I love this little Mickey right here, this little ornament, super nice. They've got the water bottles, shirts, they've got ears as well. They really go all out on a lot of the merchandise that's available for the different resort stays, so that you know that you stayed at Pop Century. You can bring it home with you if you're thinking, you know what, this was such a magical trip. I want to remember Pop Century for all time. And of course, they have all sorts of other merchandise as well. Hats, they've got plushies galore, of course, and a ton more. Now, this resort I have noticed is really good for pin trading. If you're a big pin trader, you love trading Disney pins, I do recommend checking out the desk right here. I've found several really good pins right there behind the desk. They're super nice, very friendly cast members everywhere you go. And you'll find checkout spots throughout this area, the shopping area. Straight across here, you'll find more of the home goods section is what I'm going to call it. It's like for the home stuff, plates and things to bring back maybe as gifts. They also have candy over here, which is nice. And those little things that hang on the side of your backpack or shirt. I forgot those little things. They kind of hook onto you. They're pretty cool. They also got those little munchlings and, of course, the Magic Band Plus, pins, and a lot more. Now, as we continue on here, you'll notice the ceiling area is kind of unfinished. It changes the dynamic of this resort. You barely notice it when you're there, but I did want to point it out to you. It kind of separates the value from moderates or deluxe. In that shot right there, you can see 5 different pressed penny machines. I'm not sure why there are 5, but there are. This is where you find some of your food options available here at Pop Century. This is your mobile order area on the left-hand side. If you're not using mobile order, and by the way, I recommend you do use it because wow, that has saved me a lot of time. You'll notice in the center there are these little kind of stands where you can fill up your resort refillable mug. If you're staying for any length of time, let's just say 5 days, it's definitely worth it to have the resort refillable mug if you enjoy drinking coffee and tea and soda and all that good stuff. Different food items, including burgers, chicken nuggets, pizza, but it's really basic. There's your resort refillable mugs on the left. And then you've got some of your desserts, your ice cream straight ahead. I've actually been enjoying the yogurt parfait that they have at the resorts. They're actually a pretty good snack as you're walking around here. You're able to enjoy. Some of the burgers I've been disappointed with recently. And my personal recommendation is that if you're thinking about trying a burger, I would go to the parks instead. I'd go to a special restaurant that is good. Steakhouse 71 or, it's one of these places that has really Brown Derby, really good burgers instead of just going for the very basic one that you can find at many of the resorts. So that's just my opinion. Obviously, it changes with time, but this is where we're going to go ahead and check out with our parfait. I know it doesn't seem like much, but it wasn't that the main meal part of the day, so we're good. Lots of seating areas here inside everything pop and dining. As we make our way through here again, you'll notice those kind of central, areas in the middle that are full of the dispensaries, right? So they got little dispensers for soda and water, hot cocoa, coffee, tea, again, meant for your resort refillable mug, right? So if you want to use it, you do have to have a resort refillable mug. Of course, you can purchase an individual cup from behind the counter if you want to, but it, again, depends on how frequently you plan on using it. Sometimes that is not economical. At the time of this recording, I believe it's about $20 some, something like that, for the resort refillable mug. We're going to step outside right now of everything pop and dining, where you can see these super larger-than-life little 90s, 80s, 70s, the different years right here. We're passing the 70s right now, and I'm walking towards the perfect Instagram spot here at Pop Century. If you love taking those selfies or want to remember your favorite spot here at Pop Century, it probably is going to be underneath or right in front of this gigantic pop sign right here. I love it. It's really cool. They put some the bush around it, which is pretty cool. Then we get to the pool area, starting it off with Petals Pool Bar. Now, this bar has changed quite a bit since perhaps the last time you have been here. It depends on how long ago it's been, but they have a lot more options now, different drinks. You can see it's a very popular spot because they have specialty drinks. Look at that line for Petals Pool Bar. Look at the groovy grub, out-of-sight snacks, and the frozen treats, of course. And they have the specialty drinks, which is what that line is usually for. It's a specialty drink that they're making just here at Petals Pool Bar. Here's the look at that pool, central pool here for Pop Century. It's a nice one, but again, very crowded and very basic. It's an incredibly basic pool here at Pop Century. And, it's great for the family, but don't expect big slides or big thrills at this pool. Fun for kind of relaxing during the day. Let's speed it up now. You can see some of the ping pong right there. And then look at the theming on the buildings. Really cool. People are dancing away. It has a fun vibe to it here at Pop Century. You kind of feel like you're going back in time a little bit. Larger than life 3-story toys and Play-Doh, and your favorite characters are going to go across and see Baloo. I mean, it's really well done how they've made this resort feel like home away from home, and a magical experience when you're here at Walt Disney World. Again, the theming is going to change from building to building and section to section because the different sections are themed with the different years throughout the centuries, right? So this is like the 50s area, there's like a 70s area, there's a 90s area, there's a lot of cool areas. You saw those big yo-yos at the end of that building over there, those actually encase the stairwells. Pretty cool how they do that. Here at the back of the resort, which didn't feel like that long of a walk, but don't be fooled, this is a bigger resort than you think, you'll find the Skyliner. Now the Skyliner is a really fun way to get around Walt Disney World. In my opinion, it's one of the best ways to get around Walt Disney World. From here, this is a Generation Gap Bridge, for those who are wondering. You can take the Skyliner to Caribbean Beach, which is a transfer hub for the Skyliner system. From there, you can go to Hollywood Studios, you can go to the Riviera Resort, or even Epcot. A fun way to get around Walt Disney World. If you're afraid of heights, at first, it takes a little bit to get used to it, but eventually, I think most people do. So it's a great spot, a great way to get around Disney for sure. We're going to continue walking around Pop Century just a bit so you can get a greater feel for this transfer. We're going from the 60s area to a whole different timeline. I think this is the 90s over here. I'm pretty sure this is the 90s. Maybe it's the 80s. Not sure. It's tough to keep up with a lot of these. You can look at the signs. And what's cool about the signs is you can actually read different historical facts. See the little red sign on the side there? From the different eras that you're passing through. It's a pretty large resort. I wanted to kind of walk in here so I can show you what the breezeways look like, at least on the bottom level, where you can see very clearly the room right there, right on the kind of open walkway area, and you got your window right there. Some people like to decorate their windows, but that's it. They're very basic rooms, but a great way to save money if you're thinking about, coming to Disney for maybe a longer period of time, and you want to save money with your family, and who doesn't like saving money? So I really do love staying at Pop Century. We're going to keep fast forward in here just a bit so you can get to the end of the walkway here where you can find really cool hidden objects. Now, these are larger than life. Again, 3-story tall big wheels or Mickey phone, whatever it is that really makes it feel whimsical. It definitely feels like a childhood playhouse when you're here at Pop Century. Now, not everyone likes this theme, but I personally love it. Foosball larger than you. I mean, as you're walking through, who doesn't love that? Now, of course, you can't actually play with these, otherwise I'd be bouncing around a bit here, but it is a lot of fun to walk around, take pictures of it, see it all. Mickey phone right there. It's an iconic spot here at Walt Disney World, especially since Pop Century's been around for quite a while. There's that big wheel. I say that 3 times so fast. Big wheel, big wheel, big wheel. Don't climb on it, by the way. It's very important not to climb on any of these objects. There's a big kind of goalpost there at the end, which is pretty cool, which is where you keep score if you were playing as a giant for foosball. It's pretty cool. One thing I did notice, which I think might be relatively new, is this Twister game. And I wanted to know if it was truly an accurate game of Twister, so I just kind of tried to spin it around a little bit here and see if it landed on something accurate. But you see it fell down there. So is it like a super accurate form of Twister? I don't know, but it's still a lot of fun. So I put my left foot on the red there, just because we're playing Twister, of course. Fun things that you can find all around Pop Century. Now, as we continue down this walkway here, you'll find the campfire area where you can make s'mores, maybe at the end of the day. All the resorts do it, depends on the time of day, but they all end up having that fire right here, right by Goofy and that Corvette, which is pretty cool. Now we're making our way back towards everything Pop and Dining, and I do want to show you these numbers again, larger than life, 90s, 80s, 70s. We're going to continue walking past the Pop sign because there's a part that I didn't show you quite yet, but it's actually a relatively small resort in terms of amenities. It is meant for that value for those who really do want to save money, so it's something to really think about. Ooh, look at the tie-dye there in the 60s, pretty cool. Here's the one thing I wanted to show you, the baggage area. So if you're thinking about dropping your bags off here on maybe that final day here at Walt Disney World, or you're looking to pick up a scooter that you rented or wheelchair, whatever it is, you can do that here. I want to be very clear. This is where the line can be very long first thing in the morning. So if you are thinking about bringing your luggage here or need something done, first thing in the morning is the absolute best time to do it. Pop Century, tons of fun. Hope you enjoyed it. A huge thanks to our Patreon production team for making all of our videos possible. Thanks to you for watching. Until next time, have a magical day, and I'll see you real soon.